Hello, my name is Marcello Ishida and I'm here in the series A Day in the Life, today talking about software-defined access part 2. So, let's begin. Before starting, let me show you the lab environment that I have prepared and some of the challenges that we face without having SD access. So, without SD access, which I call just one more day in life, what I have here in this scenario is we have two buildings, San Jose and San Francisco. For each of those buildings we have two switches located in different floors, as well as its access point pair. On the side we have two groups, the yellow group called account and the blue group called BYOD. The difference in between those users is that some of the users are cable connected via wired and some of those use Wi-Fi instead. So let's go into some of the situations we could face some challenges here. So for situation number 1, what we have, I'll call it changes. Okay, so what I mean is this account number 1 connects to this switch, this account number 2 connects to a SSID provided by this access point, the same the BYOD connects to an SSID provided by this other access point. But the main point here is, think about if any of those users decide to change floors or decide to change building, what would need to be changed here? All the configuration regarding each of those new connections. So if account 1 goes to the San Francisco building, whatever the floor he chooses, we will need to look at this new building and look at the port that this new user is coming, and then we will need to copy the same policy rules and configurations that he has under this port. The same would work for the wireless connection, but rather we will need to check all the configuration that they have today on those access points, if they match on the new building that those guys are moving to, and things like that. So this could cause a lot of problems, a lot of downtime, a lot of different situations that you need to handle just in case you don't have an automated environment. So let's go to the second situation here. So let me switch real quick. Okay, so this is better. So for the second situation, let me call it add. Okay, what I mean with that is, with the current infrastructure, if I need to grow any of those buildings in terms of installing new equipments to provide access to more users or whatever other need, what I will need to do here is, suppose we got the new switches here and here, and here we also got new switches and we need to configure those. We also got new APs. It doesn't matter much how many, but basically the point is I will need to configure all of those new adds here in a very manual way. So it means I will need to look at the existing infrastructure, I will need to look at the uplinks, I will need to look at what kind of protocols I will need to manually configure those equipments, switches, access points, and everything like that. And even if you consider like human error, we could rely on human error in this case, right? Which could make my life much harder. Okay, let me talk about a third point that I wanted to highlight. Third situation, actually. Let me change it again. Okay, so the third situation will be in regards to the policy. Let me call it policy per user. Okay, what I mean with that is, those users, account 1, account 2, and BYOD 1, they already have their policies, which is pretty much who they can talk to, and if I need any customization, for example, on group yellow, I have 2 account group users, so I could set up a policy, for example, for the whole group account, which account 1 and account 2 are part of, but I could also set up a group account and underneath it a pair user policy, which, for example, I could make it valid only for account 1. It means that for account 1, even though I could be setting up different rules, in the way it is presented here, which is no SD access, how it would be possible? Think about that. What kind of problems, what kind of situations you will need to face it to give to the end user those granular level of configuration. In the end of the day, it's gonna make all the difference, because that's gonna point out who this user can talk to, who this user can talk to, and the same here. By the time that they get access to the network, they log in, they are authenticated, or maybe if you don't use authentication, you need to set up by port or things like that. The point here is, think about all the things you need to worry about the way it is today without SD access. So now let me switch gears. Let me go to the same setup, but now considering SD access. Okay, so the main point here is that you would have the same challenges, the changes, the adds, the policies per group or per user. But the main point here is the simplification that I mentioned before. Who is going to take care of all that simplification for you from now on? It's going to be those two brains of the solution, the eyes and the DNA center, as I explained it before. And the main point is it's going to simplify very much your life in any situations, in any change that you need to do, in any addition of a new switches or APs or whatever goes into the what we call the fabric. And he's gonna take care of automating that for you. So it makes the scenario much more flexible, automated, scalable, and ready for you, making your life more simple. Not to be only talking about that, I just would like to show you how it would be. For instance, let me give you one situation here. This account 1 is connected here, and this BYOD is connected here, for example. And then at first we didn't have anything, any rule that would deny the communication in between those two guys. But what if I want to change it? How would it be with SD access? So let me switch to the right side of the screen here, and let me show you. I'm logged in the DNA center, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'll go to a policy, group-based access control policy. It's gonna show me the table that I show you on the part 1 video, and then I'm gonna look, okay, source is account, destination is BYOG. So suppose account 1 wants to talk to BYOG. That's gonna be the path flow. So account as a source, destination BYOG. I just click on this little square, which has no rule, as I mentioned before, and then I will click on change contract. Then it's gonna bring me a lot of different contracts. Contracts is nothing less than just some kind of rules that I have some of those already pre-configured, or I can pretty much customize the rules according to what I want. If I click, for example, on deny IP role, it's gonna show me what I'm talking about. So it means it's denying all communication, and the full action is denied. But I can pretty much customizing, like a permit IP. It is the same, so it permits everything. What I will do is I will deny any kind of communication in this flow. So I'll click change it, and I'll save it. So it's processing. Okay, see that it changed the color to red because it's deny. So account can no longer communicate with someone at the BYOG. But I did not deploy. So to deploy, to make it effective in the network or in the fabric or in this whole fabric, which I have 2 buildings and 4 switches and 4 APs, I just need to go and simply click deploy. When I click deploy, it took like less than a minute to send all the configuration from the DNA center to the whole fabric. So it means not only those 2 switches are prepared for that communication to be denied, but all the fabric, all the switches, all the APs. In the end of the day, what I mean is, if any of those users, account 1 or BYOD, move across the different buildings, move across the different floors, it doesn't matter, because all of them are part of the same fabric, and all of them already have this role configured, which I did it in like 1 minute. So I just gave you one little example, but imagine configuring and managing and orchestrating your network. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is, but what it means to me is how effective the orchestration works, and how effective the software-defined access with this great technology works. So hopefully you were able to understand a little bit so how SD access works, and in case you have any other doubt, just reach out to us. So thank you very much for watching out this second part, and hopefully it added some value to you.